trouble for kids.
And I really like it, and I wanted to be an artist. I knew from when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be an artist.
Really?
And my dad wanted me to be a chemist, and my mom wanted me to be an economist. So when I finished high school, they said, I said, I want to go to art school. And they said, no, that's not like, you need
You're not going to make a living.
You need to study something else. So I actually went and I studied international politics. But let me come back a little bit. When I was like 16, I had my first solo show in Mexico City. Like there was an art institute. They knew that I had many paintings.
They said, go ahead,
they said, this kid, his paintings are really good.
Let's put him on.
Let's have a show. Let's offer him a show.
Yeah.
And they offered me a show. One of my classmates at the au Lycée Français of Mexico City, one of my classmates, her dad is a very famous artist.
Yeah.
So I asked him for his opinion, and he said, Xavier, your work is great.
Keep going.
You already have your own style. Usually artists, they get their own style, their own way in their 30s. You're 16, you already have your own style.
Keep going.
Your sense of color is magnificent. And if you want, I will write you a paragraph for your exhibit. And I said, perfect, for your invitation for your. And I said, perfect. And this guy is a Mexican master. His name is José Luis Cuevas. So my first solo exhibit with like a paragraph or introduction
from that guy
by the Mexican master of art,
painter,
José Luis Cuevas,
was an endorsement.
I got a lot of attention when I did my first exhibit.
Oh.
At the same time, I was going to high school. So once I did that exhibit, the next year I got invited to do other exhibits. Then at one point I had like 2 exhibits traveling all over Mexico during 2 years, different paintings, because I had lots of paintings. And so it was like pretty good. I was very happy. And still my parents, they wanted me to study something else.
Oh, because they're afraid you cannot make a living with
it? Because they were thinking that maybe it was like a you know, a fate or something. They just wanted me to study something more professional.
Yeah, something that they don't have to worry about you making money.
And I wanted to go to art school then, but they said, you know what, so I applied to this very good school called El Colegio de Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And so I applied there to study international politics. And I was like thinking, this is a very difficult school to get in. It's like a Mexican Ivy League school. And I thought that I was going to be rejected. And I actually passed all the exams and I was accepted. So I studied international politics, and then I worked for about a year in international politics. But at the same time, I was already painting, and I continued doing exhibits. When I was in college, I had my first exhibit in a museum in Mexico City at the Museo Casa del Lago, which is downtown in Mexico City, as a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And so I was doing simultaneously, I was going to college for international affairs. Then I was working in the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a year. And then I moved to New York to study fine arts at the Art Students League of New York City on 57th Street. And I lived in New York for about 5 years.
Learning art?
Taking art classes. And then that's how I continue with my art career.
And then you became a full-time painter?
And then I became a full-time painter, and then my parents were very happy.
Because you are doing what you like?
Because I got some success, and they realized that I was happy, and that's basically the key to it.
Yes, they say if he likes what he's doing and he doesn't ask us for money every month, then let him do it.
Right.
Okay. So now do you ask your parents for money?
No, now it's vice versa. Sometimes they ask me for money when they are running out of a little money, when they
Oh, really?
So I mean.
So you're not a starving artist.
Well, I'm not a starving artist, but I work very hard. I work very hard on my work,
Okay.
and which is a great passion, which is like I'm like a
It's
fanatic.
mostly your time that
Right.
you're putting into it.
I'm fanatic of my work. I want to have it perfect according to my standards, and then there's another part where I do public relations, or I do the marketing thing, or I try to find new avenues to exhibit so I can actually make a living, because I also have, like everybody else, I also have to pay rent, I have expenses like everybody else,
like everybody else, yes.
and if you're also, in order to travel and take an exhibit to another place, there's a lot of costs involved.
The insurance mostly?
Well, insurance, transportation, and the time that you're being there,
Okay,
promoting during the show.
So in your apartment, you probably have $1 million insurance or 100,000 insurance?
Well, let's talk about something else.
Yes, but I have insurance, and I have nothing of value in my apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, some buildings now require you to have insurance, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
So anyway, so now that you are in San Francisco, you're gonna stay here for maybe 4 or 5 months before you fly away again?
No, I think I'll be here. I'll be here the year 2012.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the year, on 2012, I'm going to do a show in Mexico, and I'll spend also maybe a Christmas 2012 and New Year's Eve in Mexico City or in Cancun.
But your hometown is here.
My base for now is San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, I love San Francisco. It's a mid-sized city. It's not too large, and it's not too small.
And it's not too cold.
And it's just perfect for me. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
And the diversity, and you
find enough Spanish people here, right?
The diversity of the city. This is a city that lots of people, they think. It's a very intellectual. There's a lot of nourishment.
Okay.
There's a lot of understanding. There's people that they are not. They don't get tricked by the publicity media. They don't get tricked by large corporations. I mean, there's not here. I would say San Francisco is full of bon vivant Americans. They like to enjoy life. They want to enjoy a sunset. They want the majority of the people.
Do you belong to any Spanish organization?
No, I volunteer. I volunteer for different organizations.
But you don't belong as a member.
I don't belong as a member. I have friends who are Mexican artists. I'm friends with the Mexican or the Chicano art community in San Francisco.
Okay.
But I'm not.
There's
I'm not
no
really,
membership fee.
There's no membership. There's really no membership fee.
You just get together once a month.
Right.
Okay, and they both are artists of some sort?
They can be artists, they can be writers, they can be video artists.
Okay.
They can be artists visiting from Chile.
What's the name of it?
It's called. It's through the Mexican consulate.
Oh, they have no.
And then in San Francisco, there's another one. It's called La Raza.
Oh, La Raza, I know.
Which is a group of Mexican American artists or Chicano artists.
Yeah, La Raza is very popular. There's a show here that's called La Raza.
Right.
You heard about it?
Yes, and they also do the Day of the Dead in different museums in different cities.
Okay.
And so many of them are the curators. I
so
think
you know the producer of La Raza?
Well, one of the artists is René Yáñez.
Okay.
And he's one of the main curators, and they also do shows at the Mission Cultural Center, and the Day of the Dead. Sometimes they have it at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts.
Okay.
And
then you participate.
In the past, I have participated.
You put the painting.
I put one piece or two pieces. In the past, I have participated, and I also work myself as a curator for other artists.
Yeah.
And several years ago, in the 90s, I put together an exhibit about artists who use the work of Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist.
Okay.
So I went in the Bay Area looking for different people who use the image or images or connections of Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
And I had the chance to meet Rupert Garcia. I had the chance to meet Enrique Chagoya. that's when I met René Yáñez.
Okay.
And so I curated this show in conjunction with the Museo Estudio Diego Rivera in Mexico City, and then it came here to the Mexican Museum when it was at Fort Mason.
Okay.
So I work as an artist. I work every day.
And then you work as a curator for other artists.
I paint. I do my painting work, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Then I do some marketing work for my art.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I work as a curator. I have a chance to meet like important artists, most of them older
And
than
you
me.
organize expos for them?
I used to, not anymore.
Okay.
And then sometimes I curate exhibits with like young people, artists younger than me.
Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. Now you are the one who is more mature and who can advise them.
Well, more than advice, if I see good paintings and if I see talent,
You tell them.
and if I have a space, the lobby of a building, you
tell them about it.
Well, whatever I see, if I find them, I have some friends who go to the Academy of Arts. I have other friends who go to the Art Institute. Or if I just see something in a gallery or on the street, if I see somebody who has a lot of talent,
you let them know.
Yes, and sometimes when I was curating shows in the lobby of a building, downtown San Francisco, the 202 2nd Street building, they used to have art exhibits there.
Okay.
So I would do maybe 10 exhibits a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I went out of my way. Like one month, it would be only women artists.
Okay.
Another month, it would be only like people under 25 years old.
Really?
Another month, it would be like a theme, like portraits. Another month, it was like just Asian artists.
No.
And some of these people can be very young. They had to have talent. I had to like the paintings. And many of them, they never had a show before,
Mm-hmm.
or a group show, or not even a solo show.
Yeah.
And they were like really, really happy to be included, because there's a lot of talent here. And they go to different galleries, and the galleries, they get a lot of rejection, because a gallery, they work with maybe 12 to 25 artists,
Mm-hmm.
and so they don't want to take a new one,
Mm-hmm.
because if
They want to work only with those that sell.
they want to work with the group of artists that they already have,
Mm-hmm.
and that they've been promoting for several years,
Okay.
and so they don't want to take a new
chance.
person,
And take a chance. Yes.
a new person, because it's adding more work.
Mm-hmm.
And because right now with the economy being so shaky, it's difficult to sell a painting
From someone you don't know.
it's difficult to sell a painting, period.
Period. Yeah.
They said that it is also an art to sell art.
Yes, it's a special training, I heard.
So
I mean, it takes a special training to sell art, right?
right, some